This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
From Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to being well. I'm George Camel, your host, joined today by myself. It's just me flying solo. They ditched me. The rest of the team is in Orlando, Florida at our Entree Leadership Summit event. And I'll be honest, I do have a little bit of FOMO. That's the fear of missing out. But I'm trying to channel some JOMO today. That is the joy of missing out because I have the privilege of hosting The Ramsey Show. It is my privilege, and I would love to help you take the right next step with your money. So give me a call, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jim is kicking off this hour in Des Moines. Jim, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Yes, thank you.
How can I help today?
Jim, George, I'm 63 years old. I can see 64 in the very near horizon. I've been practicing law for 35 years. My wife and I make a combined income of about $190,000 per year. We have a house that the real estate sites tell us is valued at about $1.3 million, which is, I believe, pretty accurate. We have a $390,000 first deed of trust on that house and about $85,000 second mortgage on that house. We have $410,000 in non-Roth IRAs combined between the two of us. We have another $440,000 in regular investment accounts. Both are down a little bit right now, as you might imagine, but that's about what they are. That's what they were last Friday. I have 6 children that I put through Catholic school from kindergarten through senior year in college, 102 years of Catholic education, and I paid the tuition the whole way through.
Wow.
So I now have, 102 years of education, yeah. They're all 6 have bachelor's degrees. A couple have masters. Daddy paid for almost all of it. Happy to do so. It was $1.2 million from the time my oldest daughter, who's now 36 years old, started at college to the point my youngest son graduated, which was last May. I have come up with about $600,000 in my own money, and I have about $620,000 in parent plus loans right now.
Ouch, that hurts.
And they have been very good about saying you want it deferred, you want it held off. There were COVID pauses. But I think that the party's about to come to an end there. And I'm just wondering, I'm not without some assets, as I just described to you. I'm just wondering what you think I should do. These people, Navient and the student loan people, seem to be pretty willing to negotiate and work out payment plans. But it'll probably be the rest of my life.
Not if I can help it, Jim.
All right. I think you got my story. So.
Wow. Well, you've done really well. I mean, you guys have a great income. You've been investing, but you also took on the burden of 6 kids' higher education. And so What I want to do is show you a path to get out of this.
I'm sorry. It was from kindergarten through college.
Oh, my goodness.
It wasn't just higher education. It was lower, middle, and college. 102 years.
Private Catholic school the whole way.
Yep. Wow. Every step of the way. Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting. Well, I think the answer is yes, but I'm still $600,000 away probably from answering the question fully and honestly.
Yeah. Now, what's the agreement with the kids? Did you just say, "Hey, kids, I got this," or do they feel like they should pay some of this back?
Good question. The agreement was all my kids went to very good and expensive schools, and I told them if they could get in and they worked hard and took it seriously, that I would pay for it. And all 6 of them took me up on that deal, and all 6 of them kept their end of the bargain. So it is my hope to be able to just ride this thing throughout myself. So there's no agreement that the kids would pay back. If I think I got in too much trouble, I think it probably would. I mean, all 6 are gainfully employed now. All 6 are doing well, but they're all starting their lives now. The grandkids are coming. They're buying houses. They're starting they're getting married, things like that. So,
okay. Well, how about this? Let's walk through the math here. How much do you have in non-retirement? You said you had $440 in a general investing account?
Yeah, I have I have a general investment account primarily in mutual funds and some individual stocks of right about $440,000 right now, which is down from about $500,000 a couple months ago. Late 2021.
How much other cash do you have in savings, checkings, all of that? Just non-retirement funds?
Non-retirement, about another $35,000 in cash.
Okay, so we're talking you have about $470 of liquid cash.
Correct.
Now, at your age, you can touch the retirement accounts. I'm trying to avoid that before we do, but you need these payments out of your life if you ever plan on retiring. Are you still working?
If I ever plan, I am. But like I said, I'm burning out on that as well. So yes, I've been working 90-hour weeks for 35 years, and I need a break.
Oh my goodness, Jim. Well, man, you're not scared of work, but you've also taken on a lot of burden for the family here.
Yes, and I'm happy to do it. I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to find the easiest exit ramp here, I guess.
Okay. Well, in the few minutes we have remaining, here's what I want to walk through. If you sold off all of the investment funds that are non-retirement, you'd be down to less than $200,000 of student loan debt? That sound about right?
20 minus 440. In very round numbers, yes, that'd be about right. Yes.
Okay. And then how quickly, making $190,000 a year, could we knock out the student loans, the remaining $200,000?
It'd take years.
Two years if you hustled?
Yeah, at least. I'd have to hustle and have to eat a lot of peanut butter sandwiches, but yes.
And then, worst case, could you downsize and home if all the kids are gone?
Well, we live in a 6,500 square foot home. We're empty nesters now. There are rooms we don't go into for months at a time. So yes,
and from that deal, if you sold it, you would net almost $1 million.
About 800 and something, yeah. But
okay.
Yes.
So to me, that sounds like a better plan. So this is what I have some peace just listening this through. If you sold off the non-retirement funds, leaving you with about $200,000, you hustle to work another 2 years to pay this all down while your retirement keeps growing. And then you downsize in house and pay cash for the next one, leaving you with no payments and a bunch of money sitting in retirement. How's that sit with you?
Well, that $440,000 provides me with some level of security and
You're
comfort.
not secure, Jim. You owe $620,000 to Navient. That's no security.
All right.
You can't bankrupt on that. I mean, student loans are one of the most difficult loans to get rid of. What are the payments on $620,000 of student loan debt? I'm just curious.
About $4,000 a month right now.
Okay. Now walk this out with me. In 2 years, the student loan payments are gone. You now have $4,000 a month back in your life that you were paying towards Navient. Now invest that, even for 10 years, at $50,000 a year, you're going to be okay in retirement. But as long as these student loans are chaining you down, you're never going to be able to retire. And so don't get starry-eyed with the investment accounts and you're doing some fancy math over here. Dude, you got to get these payments out of your life. You took on the burden, and you can get out with this income and retire with dignity before you're 65, if I can help it. That's my plan for you, Jim. Rooting for you, man. This is The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Fine Print and Entree Leadership podcasts, all of which you can find on the Ramsey Network. Open phones this hour. The number to call is 888-825-5225. I am flying solo today because the rest of the team is in beautiful Orlando, Florida at our Entree Leadership Summit live event. Dave Ramsey, Nick Saban, Jocko Willing, Jade Simmons, Patrick Lencioni, Ken Coleman, Dr. Henry Cloud, Will Guidara, Dr. John Deloney, Jamie Kern-Lima, Jay Leno, Dr. Karen Lime-Leaf. I mean, what a lineup. Absolutely amazing. So we got about 2,500, 3,000 business leaders out there in room, many more watching on our live stream, hoping to grow themselves, their teams, their profits, all of it. And it's inspiring, and I got a little bit of FOMO, like I mentioned earlier, but I'm happy to be here in this seat. What a privilege and an honor. Titus joins us up next in Atlanta, Georgia. Titus, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm better than I deserve.
Boom, there we go. What's up, man? How can I help?
So I am 13, and because I'm 13, I don't have like a house or any debt to pay off. I was wondering what baby step I should be on.
Oh, I love this question. Titus, how did you find out about this show at 13 years old?
My parents are pretty involved. They're working their way towards getting rid of debt.
Wow. Well, you sound sharper than a lot of the 33-year-olds that call into the show. So good for you, man. I'm proud of you. So you're wanting to follow the baby steps. Are you plugged into Financial Peace University? Have your parents told you about that?
I think we're going to be starting that this year.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we're going to be starting this over break.
Okay, so you're wondering what baby step you're on at 13 years old. This is one of my favorite questions in recent memory. So you have no debt, obviously, because you're 13. Gracious. Yeah. I hope we don't have 13-year-olds going into debt. How much money do you have to your name?
A little under $1,000, I think.
Wow. So you have a positive net worth. You're doing better than most of Americans. Does that feel pretty good?
Yes, sir.
So what are you doing for work? How are you getting this money?
Well, I'm a saver, and also I was on the stock market a little.
Wow.
So, yeah.
This is impressive. Okay, so on a technical level, you would be in baby steps 4 through 6 because you don't have debt. Now, you don't have your fully funded emergency fund, but right now you don't have expenses. You're 13. Mom and dad are covering the bills, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So here's what I would tell you. I wouldn't worry too much about the baby steps right now. What I want you to do is invest in Titus. And so I love that you're already getting into the stock market and understanding this stuff. It tells me that you're going to be a multimillionaire by the time you're 30 at most, if you follow these steps. So do you know what you want to do after high school?
I'm thinking about being an investor of sorts, like on the stock market and
like you want to work on Wall Street or what? You want to trade stocks for a living?
A lot of whether it be like stocks or online, like NFTs.
Oh, you're into NFTs, huh?
Well, I don't know too much about them, but I think the future of investing is shifting a little, and so I'd like to look more into modern things.
I love it.
A bit more modern stuff.
Titus, I'll tell you what I learned, because I was like you. I was a curious teenager, and I was going, what's the latest thing? I want to keep up. And what I found now, being 20 years older than you, is that if you follow the trends, you will fall for the traps. And I want you to avoid the traps at your age so that you can build wealth. And the truth is, things that are boring that you've probably heard about, like a 401k, an IRA, mutual funds, they're not as sexy as NFTs and crypto and all the things that you're probably into. But man, the amount of millionaires that have been created because of those things, the 401k, the IRA, boring mutual funds, it is astronomical. Now, show me all the millionaires who bought NFTs and struck rich. Have you heard of these people, Titus?
No, sir.
Agreed. We are in agreement there. So what I want for you, keep saving. I love that you're a saver. Also enjoy your life. You're 13. I don't want you to spend your weekends trading stocks when you could be hanging out with friends, going to the mall, going to the movies, just doing normal 13-year-old stuff. Do you do that kind of stuff too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. You just sound so smart that I'm like, this guy has a hard time having fun. And so I know some folks like that. And so I want you to enjoy your teenage years. Also be very curious about what you're into. Try a lot of different things. This is the time to do that up until after high school. And you go, all right, what's next? Do I want to be an investor? If you want to do that, that might be a career field because you're going to have many years of experience if you're already starting. So I love that for you. The key for me is stay out of debt. Never touch it. Can you do that for me, Titus?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, no matter how tempting it sounds, don't touch student loans. You don't need a credit card. You don't need to build your credit score. Because at 13, if you're listening to this stuff, you're going to be able to pay cash for your first home. Is that a cool goal?
Yes, sir.
I love that. And then you don't have a payment in the world. So all of the income you have can go towards your true love, which is investing, right?
Yes, sir.
And then we're off to the races. So I love your spirit, Titus. I appreciate the call. We're rooting for you, and it sounds like you're already going through FPU. Otherwise, I would gift it to you. Love that call. Be encouraged, America. There's 13-year-olds that are sharper than you when it comes to money. Wow, we all got to step up our game. Wesley joins us in Amarillo. Wesley, welcome to the show.
Hey, George, how you doing?
Great. How can I help?
Well, I'm an owner-operator, truck driver, and I have a fairly new truck right now. It's paid for. It's a
Awesome.
2020, and I'm completely debt-free except for my mortgage. And usually I've been in the habit of trading trucks every 3 years. And with the way things are going right now, I'm wondering if it's still a smart idea. I have one on order at the moment that I should be picking up in August, but I still have time to cancel if I change my mind. Now, my new one, I can pay cash for, and after I sell this one with the way the market is, I'd probably be in the hole about maybe between $60,000 and $80,000.
Ouch.
But it would be completely paid for. There would be no borrowing of anything.
So when you mean in the hole, you mean you would have to shell out $80,000 in cash?
Yes.
Okay, but you have the cash.
But I have the cash.
Okay. Is this coming out of your business revenue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And on average, my take-home per year, on average, the last 3 years, has been about $200,000.
Wow, that's your take-home pay. You're crushing it, man. How old are you?
43. I wish I was as smart as that 13-year-old that just called, though.
Wow.
You know,
well, you're doing great, man. And you're doing this all debt-free. That's impressive.
All debt-free. I mean, it's taken a long time. I've been on my own. I've been trucking for 25 years, and I've been on my own for almost 15. And I've moved up into the hazardous materials hauling.
That's where the money's at, those hazardous materials.
Yep.
Nobody wants to deal with that.
No, nobody wants to take the chance of blowing up. They have a problem with it for some reason.
Okay, so this new truck, what's the benefit of moving up to the new truck versus the one you have? It's a 2020.
Okay. From my knowledge, the last 15 years, it'd be the factor would be downtime. For this one, I've noticed the last 3 years, each year, unscheduled downtime increases. Usually by 20-some%. And when I'm down for a day or two of unscheduled downtime,
it's a lot of money.
It's costing me $1,000. Yes, it's costing me $1,000 take home.
Here's how I look at this.
On the short end.
I would upgrade. So since you're doing it with cash, this is coming out of your business expenses. What I would do is, can I ROI the $60,000 to $80,000 that I'm going to be spending? And if you're telling me that it will ROI within a year or two, I'd go ahead and upgrade if you're doing it with cash.
Okay.
That feel right?
Okay. That sounds right. I've been trying to call for the last couple months because you were my final decision maker.
Well, it's a blessing for both of us today, Wesley. Thank you so much for the call. Love that you're doing this completely debt-free. It makes me feel a whole lot better. You got an incredible take-home pay. And if you keep doing that, running your business debt-free, you will be wildly successful and build wealth. Thank you so much for the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, host of the Fine Print and Entree Leadership Podcasts. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. Listen, inflation is affecting everyone right now, from the gas pump to the grocery store. And while you can't control what happens with the economy, you can control what happens with your money. And the only way to control your money in uncertain times is to get on a budget. And the best way to budget is with EveryDollar. You'll plan out your monthly budget and track all of your expenses throughout the month. Plus, the EveryDollar mobile app lets you check your budget from anywhere so you can always make the right money decisions. I'm telling you, when you get on a budget, you'll be in total control of your money. Start budgeting for free by going to RamseySolutions.com/EveryDollar. That's RamseySolutions.com/EveryDollar. Matt joins us up next in Nashville, Tennessee, right down the road. Matt, welcome to the show.
Hey, George. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
Going pretty good, man. I appreciate you taking my call. Thank you. It's an honor.
Happy to do it. What's going on with you?
Well, so just real quick, I wanted to ask, I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. I guess just more so looking for affirmation, I guess. But
I got plenty of that.
So my wife and I are doing the baby steps together. I went through Financial Peace University myself about 3, maybe 4 years ago. Got myself out of debt 100%.
Awesome.
Started walking through it a second time with my wife when we met in 2020, and she has paid off a very considerable amount of debt since then. But we're down to the last one. So definitely see the light shining in her face at the end of the tunnel. Her last debt is some student loans, less than $16,000, I think maybe 15 and some change. I think we're looking at.
Okay.
So we've got the savings to pay it off, but that would cut our savings almost in half. And I know with times of inflation, like you were just talking about, God forbid if something were to happen with one of our jobs or something, that savings wouldn't carry us through as much today as it would have a year, maybe 2 years ago. So I'm a little hesitant because it's a little scary cutting our savings in half, but then again, we would be 100% debt free. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I understand, Matt. That's a tough one because right now you see security in your savings account, and I see insecurity with these student loans still around your necks. And so the way I look at it is this. That money already has a name, and it's not yours right now. It's Navient. It's Sally Mae. It's whoever you owe this student loan money to. And so when you deplete that savings account, that's not forever because remember, you now have freed up a student loan payment. And so now we can start saving up real quick to get our fully funded emergency fund in place, which is actually going to give you the security you're looking for. So how much do you have in savings?
So we have 2 savings. We have a house fund from the sale of her house last year. There's just shy of 80K in that, and then we have an emergency savings that we've saved up, and there's about 30 and some change in that.
So you have $110,000 in liquid cash, and you're calling me over a $15,000 student loan debt that you want to keep around? I mean, are you hearing yourself?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Well, the good news is this is a good problem to have because the student loans are gone today, and you still have $95,000. Does that not give you security?
It does. We were saving 86 of that we were saving a large chunk of that toward down payment on a new house whenever the market quits being stupid. We're actively looking with our realtor right now, but we're constantly being outbid by people coming over from different parts of the country and outbidding us locals. So,
that's the Nashville way.
We've kind of decided just to hold off on looking for a house right now. Sit tight. We're in a very nice apartment in a very safe neighborhood right now. So we're not in a position where we have to make a hasty, desperate decision. So we're just going to sit tight on that for the next year or so and continue to build on that house fund.
Perfect. So if you paid off the loans today, you have $95,000. You keep stacking money on top of that. Of course, part of that's your emergency fund, so we're leaving that alone. But that puts you in 3B today if you paid it off, which means you're saving up for that down payment. You'll have a 6-figure down payment. I assume that's at least 10% of whatever you're looking at buying, right? 20% probably?
It'd be between 25 and 30%, given our max budget. So.
This is a great place to be, Matt. I have no hesitation in paying off these loans today.
Okay.
Even with no interest accruing or whatever it is.
Insight, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Good luck. Come do your debt-free scream. That'll be a fun one. All right, Brett joins us up next in Atlanta, Georgia. Brett, welcome to the show.
Hey, George. Thanks for taking my call today.
Absolutely. What's going on?
Yeah, so I've heard the study of the 10,000 millionaires and how they're all able to pay off their loans quickly, and that's how they, I guess, accredit themselves to becoming a millionaire. My question is, basically, I can't wrap my head around how it mathematically makes sense to pay off super low interest rate loans versus paying all of that overage money to buy stock that's currently on sale today. I know that there's risk involved, but I'm 27 years old. My wife and I, we both work, and I rarely look at my stock account, whether the market is up or down. I just don't care. I guess I'm risk adverse. So I can definitely go into some of the scenario about where we are at in life, how much we're making, how much we have saved up,
how much
what
debt
those
do you
loans
have?
are. Right now, 2 car loans at $37,000 at a 1.98% fixed interest rate, rental property loan at $140,000 at a 3.25% fixed interest rate, and then personal home mortgage loan of $185,000 at 2.75% fixed interest rate.
Okay. What's your household income?
Anywhere between $250,000 to $300,000 a year.
I love it. Well, you got a nice big shovel. That helps with everything.
Definitely.
So your question was, why would I pay off the loans when I could just invest all of that money?
Yeah, the overage, I mean, I'm 27, so I'm guessing 30-plus years of compound interest working its magic.
So at 27, let's just say you didn't have a payment in the world. What are your payments all add up to? On your mortgage, your rental property, the car payments?
Monthly payment of one car is $460. Another monthly payment is $565. Rental property payment is $950, and then home mortgage is $1,075.
Okay.
So about $3,000.
Let's call that $3,000. What I want you to do is go to a compound interest calculator and put $3,000 in there every month for the next 40 years. Tell me what that adds up to. And then tell me, do you want to keep those loans around, or is that money better off invested?
Okay.
I think I win. I'm playing the tortoise game, you're playing the hare game, and that's fine. You know, I'm not mad. You're still going to be a millionaire. We'll get there different ways, but the way to do it without risk and with a little more financial peace, which let me tell you, as you get older and you start having a family, all those loans hanging around aren't going to add any security to your life. Now, you can do it Brett's way, and honestly, you'll be fine. You're a sharp dude at 27. You know a thing or two. But as for me and my house, we just don't do payments. That's a value that we've adopted early on, and it's an identity thing for me. It's not about math. It's about the kind of person I am is the kind of guy who doesn't need to answer to anybody. And when I don't have a payment in the world, which I don't because I paid off my house in December, man, I'm light as a feather. Come at me, bro. If I lost my job today, which God willing, if the show goes well, Dave doesn't do, I'm okay. I have an emergency fund. I don't owe anyone anything. And so that's the kind of mindset that I want you to have. You don't have to have it. You don't have to share all my values, but you called into this show and asked me for my opinion, and you got it. And it's worth what you paid for it, my friend. Thanks for the call. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm looking out to an empty lobby right now. It's real sad. So this is your friendly reminder to come visit us. That's right. Here at the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, we're about 30 minutes south of wonderful Nashville, Tennessee. And when you enter this place, it is rare air. It's special. You smell the cookies being baked. We've got free baked goods, free coffee, a free mug. Whoever's hosting the show will come out twice an hour for photos, sign books, say hey. We love to meet people who travel from all over the country to come see us or make a pit stop on their way. We've got kind of the wall, the museum wall, if you will, where you can kind of check out the history of Ramsey Solutions. The team did an incredible job crafting an experience for our fans who want to visit, celebrate with us along their money journey. So go to RamseySolutions.com/visit. Let us know you're coming. We'll get you all the details, who's going to be here, what's going on. We would love to have you wherever you are in the world. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225 is the number to call. Let me help you take the right next step with your money and your life. Jason has decided to do that. He's in Kansas City. Jason, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, George.
Absolutely. What's going on with you?
So really quick, me and my wife were in our early, I'm 50, going to be 52. She's 50, going to be 51. We're kind of live bootstrapping baby step 5 with my daughter going through college right now. And we got an extra $600 a month that we started putting on our house payment because we were thinking that we wanted to have the house paid off in 5 years. But my interest rate's 2.25%, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe that $600 might be better off put into, our investment because we're kind of new to it. So we only got about 54 saved between our matches and our Roths being completely maxed out.
And that's between the two of you?
60, yeah, between the two of us.
Okay. And what's left on the house?
66.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not far away on the house there. What's your household income?
It's about 115.
Okay, love it. Now, you're saying, should I be investing that extra $600 instead of putting it towards the house? Are you already investing 15% of your household income?
Yes, we are. We're both fully matched. We're fully on the match with our employers, and we're putting in $7,500 each on our Roth.
Okay, well that's good news. And is college paid for, or are we still in the trenches of that?
No, we're live bootstrapping our daughter through college. She just finished her first year. She's paying half, and we're paying half because she understands the importance of coming out of this without any student loans on the other end.
I love it. That's what I was going to ask. Is there any way she could pitch in more so that you guys can let your foot off that gas pedal and move towards paying off the house and investing?
Probably not, just because she is, living out on her own too. And I would much rather, even though it would, hurt us a little bit financially, I would much rather make sure that I'm, helping her get to that level that I wasn't able to get to,
Yeah. Well, I found, and it's a sad situation that happens more often than I'd like, but students graduate because mom and dad helped them get through college debt free, but mom and dad didn't prepare for retirement. They didn't pay off the home. And now the children are stuck trying to help the adults retire because they didn't prepare for themselves. So there's a 50-50 shot that I think she's going to graduate. She sounds like a real sharp lady, but there's a 100% chance that you guys need to retire. And so I want you to make sure you put your own mask on first. And that still leaves us with your original question. Should I be investing extra? Beyond the 15%, I would still be putting that towards the house. And the question is, can you pay that off earlier than 5 years from now? Now you're putting, what, $7,200 extra on the house payment?
Right. We refinanced and we got it down to 2.25. And then that refinance, making it a 15-year note, we were able to still figure out in our budget how to get an additional $600 on top of the house payment.
Yeah. Well, I still like the idea of using that towards the house payment and finding ways to speed that process up even faster. Because investing 15% for the next, 5 years while you pay off the house, you're still going to be in a good spot, and you won't have a mortgage payment. And so it's going to be a lot easier to retire because your expenses just went way down. What's your mortgage payment?
It's around 9, but obviously that's half and half, right? I mean, some of that's the actual loan, and then some of it's like the escrow, for the insurance and the property
That's
tax.
all baked in there. Well, here's what I like to do when I want to get fired up about this mortgage. Go pull up the amortization schedule and look at how much is going towards interest versus the principal. And as you get towards the end, man, it feels good because almost every penny is actually hitting that principal, paying your debt down. And so the advice here doesn't change. You guys aren't in dire straits. I mean, I want you to have, $1 million in retirement, and that might mean you work longer than you want to. Do you plan on working for another decade or two?
Oh yeah. I'm a busy kind of guy. I do a lot of side stuff with consulting and stuff like that too. So
nice. Well, I'd keep that going. I'd increase the side hustles. I'd do everything I could to make sure the house is paid off and I'm investing. And once you get to baby step 7, you can increase that investing. You can start investing 25, 30% if you want to catch up. And at your age, you'll be able to do some of those catch-up contributions in your 401k and IRA. And so if you keep hustling, in another 10, 15 years, you're going to be able to retire. And I want you guys to retire as millionaires with a paid-for house. And I think that's still possible for you. And we'll let the kids figure out how they're going to pay for college debt-free. But you raised some good ones, so I'm not too worried about that. Appreciate the call. Alex joins us up next in St. Augustine, Florida. Alex, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What's going on?
So I recently sold my home in Chattanooga and moved back to Florida. And right around the time that I was selling it, I learned about you guys and figured out that I had a brand new truck that I did not need.
That's a good realization.
So now I'm trying to sell that truck, but when I bought this truck, I had gone in with another trade that I was upside down on. And even in today's market, I'm currently $8,000 under in this loan. And I have another new car that my wife drives, and that one is not in the same situation. I owe 18 on it, and they'll give me 19 for it. But the truck I currently have, I owe 38 on it, and they're pretty much giving me 30 or 31 for it.
Wow.
So
that's a brand new truck?
It's a 2019 F-150.
Okay. I feel like you can get more for it. Where'd you go? Have you checked 7 places? Have you checked Carvana, Vroom, local dealerships? Have you done your due diligence there?
I've checked about 3 different dealers, and they all say the same amount. Actually, Carvana offered me 27 for it. So,
well, that's because Carvana's broke right now, so they're not doing too hot. But I would keep checking. I would check what you could get private party for it. And can you get rid of your wife's car then?
Well, that's the thing, that if I get rid of her car payment is only $340 a month. My car payment is $615 a month.
Well, I'm not impressed with amounts of car payments. I want you guys to just be debt-free and get some beaters. What's your income?
$75,000, and my wife doesn't work. She's a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but that should change in this come August when my youngest one is finally going to kindergarten. So we'll be sending her off to school. My wife will have free time, so she plans to get a job. But in the meantime, I was hoping to use the summer to get rid of these cars. And we could get rid of my wife's car and get her something more affordable, like you say, a beater for a couple of months. But
how much money do you have in the bank?
I have about $9,000 left over from the sale of my house after paying off about $32,000 in credit card debt that we had.
So how much other debt do you have?
I just have these 2 cars and a $7,500 personal loan.
Okay. Here's what I would do if I was in your shoes. You have $9,000, and so you're upside down $8K, but you could cover it. And so that's not fun. I'm still trying to get the best deal for this car that I can. But I'm selling both of these cars. Dude, you make $70K and you have $50,000 tied up in cars. That's just too much car. So I'm getting rid of both cars, get something reasonable, maybe $5,000 a piece. I know it's not going to be fun to drive, not going to be as flashy as the ones you got, but that will get you out of this along with the cash you have in the bank. And then we can breathe and get rid of this personal loan and move on with our lives and never touch debt again. Appreciate the call. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
From Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to being well. I'm George Camel, your host, and I'm flying solo today, so give me a call, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. If you need a little bit of motivation, a lot of people calling for affirmation. They think they know what to do. They just need someone to tell them it's the right move. I'm happy to help you do that. 888-825-5225. Brady kicks off this hour in Dallas, Texas. Brady, welcome to the show.
Hey, George, what's up, man? You're killing it flying solo today.
I appreciate that vote of confidence. Thank you. I'll make sure Dave hears that comment. What's going on with you?
Well, hey, good, man, good. I've got a real estate question for you. My wife and I are both 27 years old. We've got 2 little kids, a 3-year-old and a 2-month-old. And for the past 5 years, we have been Airbnb hosts. But the catch is we haven't owned the properties that we've Airbnb'd. We've done rental arbitrage where the landlord gives us permission to rent out their place, right? So we've done this for 5 years, and it's gone great. It's super fun. We just save, pile up cash, don't touch any of it. But we don't have any equity in those properties. And so my question is, the place we live right now, we actually don't own as well. We rent, but it's so dirt cheap, and we love it so much that we don't really want to move anywhere. But we desperately want to buy a house so that we can have equity in, a hard asset. So my question really would be, I know obviously with the Ramsey plan and the baby steps, like we were supposed to pay off your primary residence first. If we love where we live so much right now and we're saving so much money because it's so cheap, could we possibly buy an investment property first and just pay that off aggressively while we still rent where we live?
I don't see anything wrong with that. So what's your rent right now?
Our rent is just $1,200 a month, but we're on like 11 acres in a great house, and it's really quiet and super beautiful.
What's your household income?
It fluctuates. I'm self-employed, so it's anywhere between $200 to $300.
Wow, great income. That's awesome. Well, are you working full-time while doing these Airbnb hosting?
Yes. Yeah, we are.
Okay. Well, I'm okay with you doing this, but it doesn't sound like are you going to pay cash for this piece of property?
No, we're not going to pay cash. We would probably get like a 15-year fixed mortgage like you guys recommend. And we typically we'd obviously put 20% down, do all that. We've been aggressively paying for the down payment. And we're ready to pull the trigger. We're just kind of torn on what we should do.
Yeah. What I don't like is now you're paying 2 housing payments a month.
Right.
And you can float it with your income, but I'm also going, well, why couldn't you pay cash with an income like that? What's stopping you guys from just piling up a bunch of money? Where's all the money going right now?
We're just saving it. So it's either going to retirement or it's just kind of sitting in a checking account.
And you guys are completely debt-free?
Yes, totally.
With no mortgage payment because you're renting?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, how quickly could you scrape up enough cash to just buy it outright?
I mean, it would definitely take another probably year, 2 years. I mean, again, just with the market being absolutely astronomical right now, I mean, you can get like a double wide for $300,000, you know? And so that's true. You know, in order for it to be an attractive rental that's an Airbnb, it's kind of hard to just pay cash for anything that isn't a dump.
Yeah. With investment property, you have increased risk because ideally we have people staying in it constantly, but as we know, that's not always the case. And you have another variant of COVID comes out and all of a sudden no one's traveling and all of a sudden your Airbnb is sitting there and you're still making the mortgage payment. And so I just don't like that increased risk in your life while trying to pay your... Now, you have a very reasonable rent comparatively to your income, but I also just want to challenge you and go, a year is not that far away, man. You're 27 years old. You're crushing it. You're making $300,000. You could save up for a year and have a little bit of patience. I think what's happening, now prove me wrong, but you're getting a little starry-eyed, right? At the upside of, if I had my own property and we're building that equity and someone's renting it out, and all you see is the upside, and you kind of delete the risk out of your brain.
Right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I think I definitely have had like a starry-eyed, I hate not owning an asset that has equity in it. So I feel like I need to really park it into something that's stable, So that's why I've kind of gotten a little bit impatient.
But if I said, hey man, 12 months from now, you can have 100% equity and every dime that comes in is all yours. And you're not hoping you net enough profit to cover the mortgage plus a little more. And so that's what I want for you. As a 27-year-old, you got 2 kids. I want you to leave a legacy. I don't want you to have stress hanging out in your life. Are you solo income? Does your wife work outside the home?
No, solo income. We both kind of run our own business, so we support each other and do our own thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you're a sharp young couple. I'm just going, dude, you make $300,000. Could you live off 100 and stack away 2?
Yeah, that's true.
To me,
it fluctuates. I'm self-employed, so
sure.
That's high years,
But it sounds like you also can kind of create as much income as you hustle for.
Yes, that's true.
And
that's
so to
true.
me, I'm going to dangle that carrot and go, man, how cool would it be to pay cash for my first investment property? And eventually, I do want you to have your own place. I know you're paying $1,200 and it's a great spot, but I also want you to have a fixed expense because that rent can go up at any time. And we've seen that happen in this market where people are calling us going, my rent went up 67%. What do I do? You don't have that when you own the place.
Yeah, that's true.
So long term, I want you to also look into getting a primary residence. And later on, dude, you got your whole life ahead of you to get into the investing world. And so if I'm you, I might save up, pay cash for my primary residence if you want to do that.
Okay.
And then the world is your oyster because now you don't have that $1,200 a month payment in your life, and now you can save up real quick to get that next investment property.
That's true, man. That's true. Okay, I really appreciate it. That definitely gives me something to think about.
That's what I'm here for. Just giving you something to chew on, Brady. Way to go, man. That's an impressive guy right there, making $200,000-300K. Running the Airbnb hosting. Now, the rental arbitrage, what he was explaining, this is an interesting phenomenon. I just learned about this. This is where you rent a place out, and you go to the landlord and say, hey, do you mind if I basically sublease this place as an Airbnb? Now, the amount of landlords who will say yes to that, they're few and far between because they don't want that liability in their life of strangers being in and out of their property, and you're the one making a profit off of it. So this is a rare situation. Brady's lucked out in this case, and I hope it works out for him. He's got 5 under his belt, which is impressive, but he's upset because he doesn't have the equity, because he doesn't own the place, and that's one of the biggest problems with rental arbitrage. So if you want to get into real estate investing, here's what we teach, here's what we've always taught for many, many years. Pay off your primary residence first, then pay cash for investment properties. I know that sounds like a million years away to most of you who want to be investing gurus, but guess what? It's the way you're going to do it without going broke. It's the way you're going to do it with financial peace without that risk in your life, especially as you have a family, you've got young kids. Man, what if they could grow up completely debt-free and never see their parents struggle with money? That's the kind of life I want for my family. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality and host of the Fine Print and On Trade Leadership podcast. You can check out both of those shows on the Ramsey Network or wherever you listen to podcasts. So when the team gets together at Ramsey Solutions, we talk a lot about our mission to change America's toxic money culture. It makes us mad to see people get trapped by debt or to watch kids sign away their future for a student loan. And for the folks who work here, this is not a job. It's a mission to change lives. So if that sounds like a passion that you share, which if you're listening to this show, that might be you, you've got to check out all of the exciting roles Ramsey Solutions is looking to fill ASAP. There's never been a better time to find a job doing work you love, and we need good folks out there who care deeply, who are very talented. So we need developers, we need UX designers, we need writers to help us build digital products that actually change people's lives. We don't do widgets around here, we do hope. You can check out what it's like to do work that matters with us before you apply. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching Ramsey Careers. Our HR team here, some incredible folks who are always inspiring people, giving you some behind the scenes of what it's really like. If you've wondered, what's it like to be part of this team with over 1,100 people now doing work that matters? I know you thought we did this out of a double wide, but we've got hundreds of developers alone. Our tech team is gigantic. We've got writers, we have designers, we have copy editors, we have customer care folks, we have lots of different roles. And so if you have talent in those areas and you care about this mission, you want to help people, go check out RamseySolutions.com/career. Your dream job could be just around the corner. RamseySolutions.com/careers. Open phones this hour. The number to call, 888-825-5225. Let me help you take the right next step with your money and your life. Angela joins us up next in Los Angeles. Angela, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, George. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's going on with you?
Well, I am a 23-year-old mom, and I have two little ones. They're 2 and 1 years old.
Oh.
I'm currently on baby step 2, so I've already completed my first baby step, the $1,000 of emergency fund.
Awesome.
And I've been listening to the show for like 3 weeks, I want to say now, and I love it, so thank you.
Absolutely.
I have a total of $23,000 in debt, student loans, credit cards, and a car payment, and I have an income right now of $47,000.
Okay.
But the only part that I feel isn't the best is the work environment I'm in right now. It is toxic. It is a little mom and pop shop, and I feel like it's literally draining me every day. So I've been applying to different positions, and I recently got a call from the school district saying that they're very interested in me and are ready to give me an offer. But when I asked about the pay is about $7,000 less than what I make right now.
So they're offering 40 and you're making 47. And you're going, should I take this to get out of a toxic situation while I'm in debt?
Yes.
Now, are there any other reasons other than the salary that you're looking at this job?
Yes, there is. The current job that I'm at, again, it is a mom and pop shop, so the benefits aren't there yet, like the days off, sick pay, stuff like that. I don't have a retirement plan, which is something that I'm really bummed out about. And I also don't have the health insurance, or it's not the best health insurance, but they take out a big amount from my paycheck, so I opted out of it.
Oh, you opted out. So do you not have health insurance right now?
No, just my kids, but my kids have it through their father, yeah.
Okay, I would get health insurance today.
Okay.
That's a scary situation to be in because we've seen too many sad situations where people bankrupt over medical bills.
Yes.
So I want you to make sure you get that taken care of. Our folks can help. RamseySolutions.com, click on Trusted Pros. We've got health insurance pros that can help walk you through what your options are to make sure that you're taken care of there. So let's talk about the job.
Okay.
Are you moving into a different career field, or is it the same type of work?
No, right now it's the manufacturing side of things, but I would be going to a school district, so kind of the same, but it's all clerical work.
Okay. My question is, are there other jobs out there that could pay you $47,000 or more so that you're not taking a dip in income?
I want to say yes, but because I don't have a degree, they're not going to pay me what I get paid now. I live in the outskirts of Los Angeles, so it's hard to get the same pay.
Have you let the school district know, hey, I appreciate the offer so much. You know, I was making 47. I don't know that I can make the jump down to 40 by taking this role. Is there any way you can meet me? Would they be willing to do that?
I did ask if there were going to be raises, and I guess after a 6-month probational period, they gave me a few cents, but it's stages. So that would be the first stage would be a few cents.
Okay.
On top of that, yeah.
Well, benefits are something to take into consideration. When you take into the cost of health care on your own versus the school district, which I imagine has a much better health care program, then you might go, you know what, I'm going to be paying $7,000 out of pocket for all these benefits, and so I'm okay taking this hit because the net result is not slowing me down for my debt snowball. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I'm not saying don't take it, but I would proceed with caution. Make sure that you've looked at all your options. Look at what their healthcare program is. Look at what it would cost you right now to get healthcare and whatever other benefits you don't have that might be covered to see how that would affect your net income. Because I don't want you to slow down your debt snowball. So the question is, if we take this job, how do we not slow down the debt snowball? Could you do side hustles? I know. Are you a single mom?
No, I have my partner.
Okay.
Fiance.
So childcare is taken care of?
Yes.
Okay. I would see if there's any side hustles to make up the gap temporarily, and then see if maybe you take a different job 6 months from now as you keep exploring to get your income up. I don't want you to just stay at 40, regardless of if you have debt or not. Especially living even remotely. If you can throw a rock near L.A., that's an expensive place to live, even on the outskirts. And so I want you to get that income up as high as possible. Are you and your partner sharing expenses? How does this work?
So, again, I started listening to you guys, I want to say 3 weeks ago, and I've been telling him about it, but he's still not open to the idea of joining our account or anything. So right now it's just me, and then it's just him. He takes care of his stuff, and I take care of his stuff. But when it comes to, the kids, we both combine.
Okay. And he's the father?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I want him to have more skin in the game here. I mean, we're not playing roommates. We had kids together. So let's step it up.
Right.
And let's have him go through Financial Peace University. It's going to be my gift to you guys. Your job is going to be going, hey, we're not okay right now. We're in a scary place. I want this debt out of my life. Will you go through this 9-lesson video course, have some conversations, and actually plug into it? Put the phones away and just dial in. Would he be willing to do that?
I'm sure he would.
Okay, so if you hang on the line, I'll have Austin pick up. We're going to gift you guys Financial Peace University and EveryDollar Premium. That's our budgeting tool. I want you guys to get on a written budget for all of your expenses, and that's going to all be inside of Ramsey Plus. There's a lot of tools and resources for you there. But my goal for you is to not slow down the debt snowball, because right now you're paying off this $23,000 in debt. How much is the car worth?
$11,000.
Okay. And what do you owe on it?
I want to say the $11,000. I just got it not that long ago.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
You could clean that up, but you're going to turn around and have to get another car for probably $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it accelerated slightly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, keep tackling it. Are you doing the debt snowball, listing them out smallest to largest?
Yes, I currently have all my things written out, and I've been attacking them so far. Everything's been going good, and I can breathe a little.
Good. That's what I want for you, Angela. Breathing room, margin. That's what this program, this plan is all about. So hang on the line. Austin will pick up. We'll gift you guys Ramsey Plus for 1 year. That includes all the videos in Financial Peace University and EveryDollar Premium, our budgeting tool. If you do this stuff and you get him on board, it's going to really help out the process. That's my hope for you. And good luck with the job transition as you make that jump. And please, please, for the love, get health care. Everyone listening, if you don't have health insurance, get it today. There's no reason to bankrupt on health insurance, on medical bills. It's a dangerous situation. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. If you don't know me, I've been on the Ramsey team now for 9 years. I feel like I grew up here. And when I started, I had a negative net worth. I had a bunch of student loan debt. I racked up some credit card debt, and I went through Financial Peace University when I first started here as an intern and a temp, and it absolutely changed my life. Got out of debt in 18 months. Met my wife here who works here at Ramsey Solutions. Beautiful love story. We'll save for another time. And back in December, we paid off our mortgage, reaching the elusive baby step 7 at 32 and 30 years old. And let me tell you, it was worth it. It's worth it. All the sacrifice to get out of debt, to get rid of your mortgage payment, to invest for the future, to have the emergency fund, it's worth it. In case you're wondering if this Ramsey plan stuff is really worth all the sacrifice and all the trouble when you could do it your way. But here's what I found. My way wasn't working. I thought George's plan was fancy. I thought I was smarter than the system, and I was there to beat the system. And it turns out the system is rigged against you. And so a better way to do it is to just rise above the system. And once I did that, I realized, I don't need a credit score. That's right, because a credit score just allows you to get more debt. And if we're saying no to debt, then we don't need a credit score. And so we got our mortgage through a process called manual underwriting because we didn't have a credit score. We got a 15-year fix. We had a big down payment, and we paid it off in 26 months. And now we're free in our early 30s, on our way to baby steps millionaire status. And so my hope for you is that you feel the same hope, that you feel inspired to follow this plan, to maybe come here and do your debt-free scream one day, to be baby steps millionaires, to live and give like no one else. That's what Dave Ramsey has been teaching for years, and that's what I'm here to help you do today. So give me a call, 888-825-5225. Barbara joins us up next in Philadelphia. Barbara, welcome to the show.
Thanks, George, for taking my call. I just have a question. My husband and I are in our mid-70s, and unfortunately, we just started investing about 2.5 years ago. We just wasn't sure about the market, so we never really got into it, but we were trying to save as much as possible. And I'm just trying to figure out with what we have now, how we can live to be comfortable if we are living comfortable now with what we do have.
Okay. What's your income?
Well, we clear. We're both retired about 10 years. We clear about $75,000 a year. We're debt free. Our home is worth about $600,000, and we have about $125,000 that we did take and invest just 2 years ago, and we have about $25,000 to $28,000 in savings right now, and we don't have any debt. Trying to figure all that out.
Okay, so your home is paid for, no mortgage payment?
No.
So you've done really well, except that you haven't invested. Because you've got some money
Right.
saved, the house is paid off, which means your expenses are really low, I assume.
Right. They're about $1,400 to $1,500 a month.
Okay. So at $1,500 a month, multiply that out, you're going to have some margin left over. You're telling me that your expenses are about $18,000 and you're pulling $75,000.
Right.
Which tells me we can invest a whole big chunk of that because you could live another, 20, 25 years?
Lord willing, yes.
Lord willing, the creek don't rise. And so, do you feel comfortable right now? What's kind of got you worried?
Just the fact that we should have been saving a long time ago. We spent a lot of money just helping our family out, our kids out, for weddings, graduations, and stuff like that. We took some trips here and there of things we enjoy and did things, and we just came across you guys a couple years ago, and just by listening on the radio while we were traveling. Sorry we didn't catch you before now. But we did buy a car last year for $38,000 that we paid cash for. We wondered if that was the best thing we should have done, whether we should keep it or still keep it, or maybe sell it and get something less, or what. So
is that your one car?
We have a truck that's been paid for a number of years.
Okay. I mean, comparatively to your income, it is a lot. It's a lot of car. We recommend no more than half of your annual income be tied up in things with motors in it because they're going down in value. And so you can't take the hit as much when it's, you're making 75 and your cars are worth 50 going down in value.
We don't have,
So,
and we do have some, we have a few antique cars that we thought about, if we needed to sell in the future, we could. We enjoy them, and that's another question that we're trying to figure out now. We just want to make sure that we're covered pretty well, that we don't have to worry, and that our family can take care of themselves now, and we can just, continue to save and, like you say, invest some more.
Yeah, is this income all coming from Social Security and pensions?
Right.
Okay. Well, you're not in dire straits. I mean, yes, you haven't invested as much as I would have liked, but you also have a paid-for home, you have an emergency fund, and you have this income coming in that's, guaranteed for now.
Right.
And so you're not in a terrible situation. What I would do is make sure that long-term, with long-term care, do you have that in place?
No.
Okay. What I don't want for you is all of your money's depleted within 2 years because, one day, God forbid, you're in a nursing home and it costs $100,000 a year.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the kids are trying to take care of it.
We are healthy. We try to stay healthy. We don't have any medical issues. So we just enjoy life as we can and just trying to, make every day count and try to save as much as we can for the future. And that, so I just wonder, I love your advice. I know you're giving good advice, and I just want to find out exactly where we do stand from what you're saying now.
Yeah, I mean, I would just do a budget every month. There's only 3 things you can do with that money: give, save, spend. So I'd allocate as much as you'd like to giving. 10% is a good baseline. Beyond that, make sure you're saving as much as you can and investing that money. Don't leave it sitting out in the checking account because you're scared of the market. Because in 20 years of riding the wave, your money will grow. And so don't get scared at your age.
We did have some in the money market, which wasn't hardly getting anything for a number of years. And then that's what we took and saved to invest what we did to have the $125,000 we have now that we're investing.
Okay. Keep that invested. Are you working with a financial advisor?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Good. Make sure you've got a trustworthy advisor in your corner because especially at your age, you've got to be very wise with this money. And so I don't want, the market to take a dip and you get spooked and take all the money out and now it's not even beating inflation and you need this money long-term for retirement. So I don't think you're in a terrible situation, but you may have to adjust your expectations of what retirement would have been, could have been, should have been. You may not be able to go on extravagant vacations every year, but you can still cover all your bills, sock enough away in investing, and spend some and enjoy it.
All right.
So as long as you feel good about it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for the call, Barbara. That's an interesting situation where you've got a paid-for home, you've got money in the bank for the emergency fund, but you haven't done a great job of investing. So I want to encourage everyone out there listening. Barbara's done a great job. They could have done better on the investing side, but when you don't have a mortgage payment and you have an emergency fund, it changes the situation. And obviously they have Social Security and pensions, but let me tell you, young folks out there like me, I just saw a headline that's saying Social Security will be depleted by 2033. Well, it sucks for me, doesn't it? Especially sucks because I've been paying Social Security out of every paycheck since I've been working, and I don't get to see the fruits of all that money that the government handled so wisely. They're so good at that, aren't they? So do not depend on Social Security. Don't even depend on your pension, because those can go bankrupt. That's not a guarantee for life. I want you to have the ball in your corner, which means you're investing your own money into 401ks and IRAs and good growth stock mutual funds, diversified across 4 types like we teach. That is what is going to give you security. Don't rely on the White House. Don't rely on one single company to cover your retirement. I want you to retire with dignity, to leave a legacy, to leave an inheritance to your children's children. That's the kind of life I want for you, and you can get there. And if you're 60, you still got time. And if you're 20, you have even more time. But quit fooling around. Avoid the traps. Be consistent. Live on less than you make. Don't let lifestyle creep take over your income. It's those kinds of things that will allow you to build wealth. Not the White House, not NFTs, not crypto, nothing fancy. Do boring, consistent stuff, and you'll be okay. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, your host today. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. Give me a call, 888-825-5225. We'll talk about your life and your money. Maria joins us in California. Maria, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Thank you so much for taking my call. It's such an honor to speak with you.
I'm honored to take it. How you doing?
Doing okay. I've got a tricky situation with my mom that I just need some help deciphering through.
Okay.
About 7-8 years ago, my mom lives off of Social Security. She's been disabled for about 25 years. She sold a home in Las Vegas and had the cash for a down payment, but she had no monthly income, so she could not get a home loan on her own. She proposed to me to get a house together, so we did here in California. She put the down payment. Me and my husband have been making the mortgage, utilities, repairs on the house all these years. Recently, she's made some comments that she wants her own space, which me and my husband's family, we have kids, our family's growing, so we all kind of need our own space now. But her comment that got me kind of swirling into a frenzy is that she wants to leave her portion of the house to me and my siblings when she passes. So me and my husband are kind of like, we don't want to keep putting money into a house that we may have to part with eventually. So I guess I'm just wondering, how would I buy her out? Or do I just sell? And do we just kind of go our separate ways that way? Because she is only living off of Social Security income. And that's basically it. I just know that she wants to leave something to my siblings when she passes. And I didn't know that she was using the property to do that originally.
So is she wanting to leave the property itself or the proceeds from the property? The equity?
The proceeds.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have no problem getting out of this house. Do you want to stay there if she leaves?
I would like to stay there because we got such a great deal on it back in 2015. But I'm not like really emotionally attached. I'm okay with leaving if we have to. I just want to make sure I do right by her and right by my husband. So.
Well, I think if you're saying to me you want to stay in this house, but you want to buy her out of it, is her name on the title or the mortgage?
Nope, just me.
So do you have an agreement in writing that says she has part ownership of this house?
There's no agreement in writing. No, it's just a verbal agreement between me and her.
So what is her involvement financially in this property right now? What is there to buy her out of?
I guess the down payment she put down.
So she put the down payment down. So would she be okay just getting the down payment amount back, or is she wanting a percentage of equity?
I think she is wanting a percentage of equity. From what it sounds like. And I don't know how that works. So that's...
Well, you never put anything in writing, which makes it a whole lot more complicated. Because now it's how I feel versus how she feels and what's enough. And, you know, what was the down payment versus what was the property worth when you got it?
So it was worth $360,000. She put, I think, about $180 down.
Wow. So she has, 50% is really what she put down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's fair to give her 50% equity of what it's currently worth?
I do. I think that's fair. Because she's only living off of Social Security, I know she doesn't have much. So,
well, it sounds like she's not in a place to leave anything to anyone because she's broke.
Yeah.
It sounds like she needs the money.
That's true.
Because here's what happens. You give her the money that then goes to you and the siblings, and then you and the siblings now need to have the money to pay for her because she can't afford to live. And so...
And if we did split ways, one of us siblings would have to get another loan for her because she still doesn't have an income to get her own.
Does she have disability income?
Cash, but, disability and Social Security, yes.
Okay. And that adds up to what?
About $1,300 a month.
So where is she going to go if she moves out?
I've been trying to get her to think about that, and I think she realizes what a sweet deal she has living with me right now, since I'm pretty much paying for everything.
But neither of you want this situation to continue, it sounds like. I think we got to figure out where she's going to go before we kick her out.
No, totally. And that's also why we've kind of been dragging our feet, is because I don't think she really has anywhere to go unless we were to sell and she could buy something cash.
That's my feeling, is that you guys might need to sell or do a cash out refi, if not just to give her the money she needs to survive.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We might be forced into an option because she has not done a great job of taking care of herself. Is she able to work at all?
No.
Nothing from work from home or anything like that? What's she doing all day?
Nothing. She's on medication and sits in her room all day. That's also something that bothers my husband. But it's my mom, so I don't know.
Yeah.
How to pick these battles.
It's not an issue of laziness. I just want her to have some purpose to wake up every morning. And so
Absolutely.
if that's even a part-time job remotely that she can do from home, I think she needs that. How old is she?
She'll be 70 this year.
Okay.
But she has her wits about her. I feel like she could do some freelance legal stuff. She used to work in a law office, and I've really tried to push her to do that, but...
she's got to use her brain at least.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the house worth currently?
Right now, I haven't gotten an appraisal or anything, but when I did a refi last year, it was about $700,000.
Wow, that's good news.
So, yes.
And how much cash do you guys have outside of the home? Do you have liquid savings?
Me and my husband do. We have about $25,000.
Okay, and that's your emergency fund, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to get her the money she needs, you would have to do a cash-out refi, and it's less complicated because her name's not on the title or the mortgage. So the only reason to do the refi and cash out is to give her the money so that she has a place to live. And again, I would try to find something to pay cash so that she doesn't have any fixed expenses, and she's able to just use that $1,300 to, eat and have basic needs met. But there's no extravagance here. She's not retiring and having a great time. This is going to be bare bones, because what I don't want is you and the siblings to have to cover her life for the next 20 years. We don't know how long she'll live, so we've got to have a plan in place to get her taken care of.
Okay.
But that's a conversation you need to have with her. And have you had that hard conversation where you go, Mom, you're broke, and I want you to be able to have your own place, but you can't afford it?
Right.
So what does this look like?
And I'm okay if she stays with me. Me and my husband have talked about that. Like, if we bought her out, she could still stay with us. I just want her to understand this is our home. I don't want to have to.
Yeah, I don't want any resentment to bubble up over this either.
Right. All right.
I'm so sorry you're going through that, Maria.
Down for me.
Yeah, it's a tough situation.
You.
There's no easy, happy ending for a lot of people here, which brings me to my next point. Take care of yourself, people, because I don't want your kids to have to do it for you. I don't want to have to take care of my parents. I'm happy to do it because I love them and they've worked so hard to provide for me, but putting your kids in a situation where you're a burden to them is not going to be fun for anyone, especially as they try to build wealth and live their financial lives, and we're turning around and trying to fill the leak over here because Mom didn't do a great job investing for the future, making sure she had a plan in place. And so that's not a knock here. I just want everyone to have a plan to retire with dignity, and you can do it. But it's going to take some hard work, some sacrifices, some hard conversations, some boundaries, but it's all so necessary and so worth it. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to all the folks in the booth keeping the show afloat, and for you, America, for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back with you before you know it. Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
From Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to being well. I'm George Camel, your host, flying solo today. The number to call is 888-825-5225. It would be my honor and privilege to take your call and help you take the right next step for your life and your money. I host a few shows here on the Ramsey Network. Of course, you're listening to one of them right now. The other ones are the Fine Print and the Entree Leadership Podcast. You can find all of those shows on the Ramsey Network and wherever podcasts are found. Eric kicks off this hour in Salt Lake City. Eric, welcome to the show.
Hey, George. How's it going?
Great. How can I help today?
Hey, so my wife and I got serious about finances and life about 2 years ago, and we're currently on baby step 6. Let's go.
Awesome.
My question for you is, what strategy should we take specifically with investing options in our 529 educational plans for our children?
Love it. Love that you're thinking about this stuff. How old are the kids?
We have a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old.
Congratulations. Sounds busy.
Thank you. Yes, life is great, though.
So you've got plenty of time for college, so I feel good about the situation, especially since you're in baby step 6. So you've already opened a 529?
Yeah, they've been open for about 2 years. One of them has about $1,500. The other one has about $700.
Okay. And your question about the best strategy, what do you mean by that?
So we're putting in about $100 each child per month. But where we get confused is, we have the option to invest with the total U.S. stock market. We can invest aggressively or balanced or moderate. Just not sure what options to choose within the platform here.
So are you doing this on your own?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. How did you end up choosing your 529 plan?
We live in Utah, and we just did the local one. This one is provided by the state, and so we're not working with any company, but we've considered calling, SmartVestor Pro just to see if that's, a good idea. But we did everything else on our own, so that's the route we're currently taking.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to see where your options were at because, they're state-specific. You can choose any state, and if I'm not mistaken, Utah actually has a great 529 plan. But inside of that, you're saying what's the best investing strategy? I recommend going with good growth stock mutual funds, which would probably put you in the aggressive category, which I'm okay with because we have plenty of time for this money to grow.
Okay.
Because what happens is you invest in some conservative investments, and they're leaning towards bonds, and that money's not going to grow at the rate you want it to.
Okay.
So what is it?
Yeah, that makes sense, and that stays in line with your other advice on 401k investing, things like that.
I would invest the exact same way inside of that 529 plan.
Okay.
So find some good growth stock mutual fund options in there that have a proven track record, and there should be plenty of options in there, hopefully. If not, you may want to look into other state-specific plans, but I think that one should have plenty of options that will help that money grow at a healthier pace.
Okay. Yeah, last time we checked, there were a plethora of options, so we'll take a look there, and if we do get confused again, I guess we'll call a SmartVestor Pro.
Absolutely. They can definitely help. But good for you, man. I love that you guys are in baby step 6, found out about this plan 2 years ago, and jumped into it full throttle, and you're investing for your kids' future. And at 3 years old and 6 months old, they're going to go to college debt-free because of the work that you guys have put in. So really proud of you. Thanks for the call. Nathan joins us up next in Cincinnati. Nathan, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
Doing well.
What's your question?
So, long story short, my wife and I are debt-free. Both of us have associate's degrees, and we're currently renting. We're expecting our first daughter next month.
Congrats.
And thank you. We're so excited. But I guess at this point, we're looking into potentially getting home, but obviously the market right now is not very buyer-friendly, to say the least.
Agree to agree.
We have about, so right now we have about $15,000 saved up, and we're kind of at a place right now where it's, I make about $43,000 a year. My wife makes about $28,000. And once the baby comes, we're hoping to have her, we've been able to save her income completely away since she started working. But once the baby gets here, we'll probably have her go to either part-time or just stay at home completely as a stay-at-home mom. So we'd just be living off of my income alone.
That make you nervous?
Right now,
or do you feel good about that?
We are at a place right now where we can afford that. I mean, we try to live pretty modestly, and but if we were to, I guess, getting to the point of all of this is we're looking at potentially getting into a home. But if we were to buy into the housing market right now, we'd probably be looking at least an $1,100 monthly mortgage.
Yeah.
And so
what's your take-home pay? With that, just yours?
Just mine. Like I said, it's about $43,000 annually after tithes and everything. I come back with roughly $2,400 a month.
Yeah. What's your rent right now?
With utilities and everything, we're right at $950 or between $950 and $1,000 a month.
Okay. So. And you're wondering, should we buy right now?
Yes. So we have that money, and so I'm not sure if we should.
Is this your emergency
buy
fund
right now, or so $15,000 would include our emergency fund.
So that's
as well.
all the money you have is 15.
Not including our checking. That's just packed away in savings, but yeah.
Well, it sounds like that's your emergency fund, and so we're not going to touch that. We're going to start a new fund for our down payment. And so that would be my next goal for you guys is baby step 3B, where we start saving up for the down payment. And a lot of people tend to pause investing in order to save this up. If it's going to take longer than 3 years, you probably want to start investing at that point. How old are you two?
I'm 25. My wife is 26.
Okay, good. We have time on our side. I like that. So my job for you is to increase your income so that you can still hit these goals, so that you're not waiting 12 years to save up a down payment, because it's going to be tight. It's going to take a little bit of sacrifice. If you can't get your income up immediately, I might go take some side hustles. Maybe she's not able to stay home full-time right now. So I'd look into what those options look like, map it all out, get a plan to get there, get on the same page, and over time, get the income up, save up the down payment, and then start investing. That would be my goal for you, Nathan. Congrats on the daughter. I'm going to gift you guys Ramsey Plus. Hang on the line. Go through that with your wife. Get excited about this child. Start budgeting for it. That'll give you a plan to do it. Ramsey Plus, including Financial Peace University and EveryDollar. Hang on the line. Austin will pick up and get that to you. This is The Ramsey Show. Imagine the energy of a jam-packed arena filled with people ready to experience what it means to live life to the fullest. Now picture all of your favorite speakers together on the stage, empowering you with tools and principles that will create unstoppable momentum in your life. Well, that right there, that's Smart Conference. That's right, Smart Conference is back. It's been 3 years since we've done this event, and we're so pumped to get it back on the road in Dallas, Texas. That's right, Dallas. We're headed your way Saturday, October 22nd. Smart Conference is our biggest event of the year, and you don't want to miss it. It's a day-long opportunity to get advice from leading experts on money, personal growth, leadership, mental health, relationships, and your career. You're going to leave with all of the knowledge and motivation you need to reach your goals and live the life that you want. And all of us here at Ramsey will be there, all of the Ramsey personalities, plus some special guests, Craig and Amy Groeschel from Life Church. They're coming too. They're going to speak on marriage. It's going to be fire. Tickets start at just $39 for a day-long event. That's absolutely incredible. Get your tickets now before they sell out, and this event will sell out. It's a crowd favorite. People travel from all over the country to attend. So if you can make it to Dallas Saturday, October 22nd, be there. It's like drinking from the fire hose. This is a great way to introduce some of your friends to the Ramsey way. And tickets are just $39. That is cheaper than a date night, and we're going 8 to 5, folks. We're going full throttle all day, tons of speakers, all the topics. So join us. Visit RamseySolutions.com/events to learn more. That's RamseySolutions.com/events. Open phones this hour. The number to call is 888-825-5225. Kevin joins from my old hometown, Boston, Massachusetts. Kevin, welcome to the show.
What's going on, George? How are you doing?
Good. I'm really hoping you have a thick Boston accent.
I don't. So that's just where I'm actually. I live in Rhode Island.
Disappointing. It's all good. I'm a big fan of Rhode Island too. How can I help today?
Right. So I was just curious. At the end of the month, I'm going to be completely debt free for once, and So I'm just kind of looking for advice on the next step in a sense where, I'm renting right now. Is it smart just to keep holding off for like the 25% down payment for a multifamily or single family? Or, do you invest in stocks? I'm a little, it's kind of funny because I'm a realtor also, but, I don't know all the answers. So I'm just looking for a little guidance.
Hey, that's all right. That's awesome. Thank you for reaching out. So you're about to pay off all of your debt and you're wondering what is next. What's your income?
Yeah. My GCI last year was 123. So I netted about $90.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, before expenses, of course.
Now, how much money do you have in the bank and savings? Do you have anything?
In the bank, altogether, after the payoff, I'll have close to 20 grand.
20 grand. So what's holding you back from just paying off your debt? How much is there left?
It's only just 8 grand. I guess I could essentially just pay it off. I just wanted that one last transaction to close at the end of the month, which I got CTC for. So I just was like, all right,
well,
I'll pull the trigger.
Hey, man, if I'm in your shoes and you want to follow our plan, that debt is gone today. You got 20 grand. You're going to pay that 8 grand off. That still leaves you with 12, which is a head start on baby step 3, which is your fully funded emergency fund. So what amount would that be to have 3 to 6 months of expenses?
3 to 6. I mean, I guess that would be about 15 grand.
Okay, which means you're probably, a month away from having a fully funded emergency fund and no debt.
Yeah, absolutely. By the end of June, I'll be very content, I guess you could say.
So you're not content right now?
Well, I guess I'm never content, but that's it's a different subject.
Well,
but,
I want contentment for you. It's okay to have drive. You can have both. But if you're following our plan, that's what you would do. You pay off all the debt. You have the money to do it. And then your next step would be baby step 3, which is your fully funded emergency fund. So if you're telling me that's $15K, you'll have another $3K to go to get to that number beyond baby step 3. So let's say a month from now, you're there, you've got $15K in the bank, you don't have a payment in the world, you've got a great income. Then we're going to begin baby step 3B. You're telling me you want to buy a place for yourself.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I don't really see the benefit of getting a single family right now because I don't have any kids. But
could you get a condo or townhome?
I'm not really a fan of condo, if I'm being honest. I don't really like the HOA fees and I don't like someone telling me what to do with my house.
Well, you told me you're maybe looking at multifamily.
Yeah, exactly. Owning that.
But then the landlord lives right above me, which means I can knock on his door at all hours of the night when the HVAC goes out.
I know, and so that's what I was thinking about. Like, do I really want to live with the tenants? You know what I mean? So that's where I kind of I'm confused. I'm like, oh, shit, what do I want to do next? And I just don't know. Maybe I should just get the single family and then start saving for the, another investment property. But then I heard an episode of Dave Ramsey today, I believe, where you should have your house.
Kevin, here's what I would do if I'm in your shoes. I'm saving up to get myself a home. I don't know what that looks like for you. I'm okay with condos and apartments. If you want to get a single-family home that's still smaller and reasonable, and you can do that with 10, 20% down, that would be my next step. Now, some people like to invest. They want to put that 15% into investments depending on your age. You may want to begin to do that while you save up for the down payment and then hustle to get that income up. So that's what I'm doing if in your shoes, but I wouldn't go with the multifamily as your first property because it sounds like a lot of headache. But I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. All right. If you don't know about the fine print, let me tell you about it. This is the podcast we did back in the fall, and we did 11 episodes in the first season. And here's the heart behind the fine print. It's all about the hidden truths that are keeping you broke. And as I looked around, and as I've been here for 9 years, there are way more traps than there are successful paths. The path to success it's very narrow, and not a lot of people take it. A lot of people are falling for the traps out there. So we went through multiple topics, and this is a narrative-style podcast. If you're a fan of, NPR's podcast or anything like that, these are about half-hour, very educational. They're fun. They have different experts and personal stories, and I try to weave it all together masterfully. And so we did TurboTax. We covered the true cost of credit card rewards. We covered how to bulletproof your money for the next pandemic. We covered buy now, pay later with these companies like Afterpay and Klarna and Zezzle and QuadPay, you name it. They're out there. We covered the housing market and if now's the worst time to buy a house. We covered Bitcoin and if that's your ticket to wealth with all the talk of cryptocurrency. We covered the dirty truth behind your credit score. Goodness gracious, there's a lot to unpack about credit scores. We also hit the student loan crisis, and we asked the question, is it worse than ever? You don't want to know the answer, but you may want to listen. We also covered bankruptcy, and if it's a quick fix for struggling Americans, and who bankruptcy is right for, if anyone, and trying to give people some hope if they feel like that's the next step for them. And we also covered the holiday season, the supply chain disaster, what's going on with the spending there. And finally, we talk about Robinhood and DIY investing. And so when you look at all of those, you go, man, there's so many things I could be doing with my money. What's the right thing for me? And unfortunately, a lot of people get suckered into the latest fad, the latest trend, because their buddy told them they got in on crypto and they made a lot of money. Or their buddy told them, you can just do no money down real estate and you'll be fine. There's plenty of loans out there and banks that will give you the money without having a down payment. There's lots of people who are trying to build their credit score because they believe the lie that that is the price to pay if you want to win financially. And smart people have very high credit scores. But what we found is that if you handed me $1 million, it doesn't change my credit score. It doesn't take into account my income. All it looks at is my relationship with debt. And so if you want to dig in to these traps, to understand them a little deeper, to hear real stories, to hear from experts, go check out the Fine Print podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. It's season 1 is out right now. We're working on what it looks like for season 2. A lot of you have reached out asking me when it's going to drop. I don't have a good answer for you. I apologize. But we got plenty of episodes for you to catch up on. And the other podcast that I host is called the Entree Leadership Podcast, where we help business leaders, men and women all around the country, small businesses, get a hang of their profits, their team, themselves, help them grow in all of those areas so that they can win in this economy, because that's truly the backbone. So go check out those podcasts on the Ramsey Network. We are here for you this hour. The number to call is 888-825-5225. I'm George Kamel. We'll be back with you. Hey folks, welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm George Kamel, flying solo today. And if you're wondering why, the answer is simple. They all ditched me. They're in Orlando, Florida, enjoying the Entree Leadership Summit event. Dave, Ken, John, the whole gang's out there. And so that leaves me here, but it's an honor and a privilege. So give me a call at 888-825-5225, and we will talk about your life and your money. Christian joins us in Oklahoma City. Christian, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, guys. How are you?
Great. What's going on with you?
Yeah, I got a question for you. So I have my primary mortgage for my primary residence, and then I have 3 rental properties, 2 of which are paid off. And on my rental property, I guess my question would be, what would make more financial sense, to pay off my rental property or to pay off my primary mortgage?
Okay,
and,
what's the numbers there?
So on my rental property, I owe $150,000. It's for finance for 10 years at 3.5% interest. And so my thought process was to take that rental income and double up on those payments each month, and I could have that paid off in 5 years. Then once it's paid off, then take that income, that rental income from those 3 properties, and double up payments and take that and then my regular payment and apply it towards my primary mortgage, and then I could probably have that paid off within about 4 years. My primary mortgage, though, I owe $260,000 on at a 4.75% interest rate. So I was just wanting to see what would make more financial sense.
Yeah, it's a great question. Sometimes if the rental property is a much smaller amount, it's easier just to knock that one out, and it'll free up a payment, like basically what you're saying, which is you want to pay off the rental, use that freed up payment to now attack your primary, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's your household income, including the rental incomes?
About maybe $450 a year between my wife and I.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. So, my question is, why is it going to take you 9 years to pay off $400,000 in debt?
Well, I mean, we contribute to my 401k. We contribute to our money market account, our kids' college funds. We have 2 little girls, so I mean, we have a lot going out towards that, I guess. Our only debts really are our 2 car payments and a boat.
Oh boy! So now it's just got a little more complicated. We've got cars and the boat. How much is on the boat?
Oh, not much. Maybe like $10,000 left on that.
Okay, and the cars?
Maybe like 30 combined. we trade out our cars. I mean, I don't trade them. I sell them and get a new one about every 3 or 4 years just because I put so many miles on them.
Okay. So you've got about $40K in the boats and the cars, and then you've got $150 on the rental outside of your primary.
Yeah.
Well, if you're following our plan, I'm just going to pay off those ankle biter debts right there with your income. Just get rid of the boat debt, get rid of the car debt, and start paying cash for everything. That's only going to help your cash flow if you want to pay these mortgages off. So that's if you want to do our plan. And then beyond that, I don't mind you paying off the rental because I think you can do that in a year with your income. I don't see why. I mean, making $450, even after taxes and 15% going towards investing and putting some in the college fund, you should still have 6 figures left over, right?
Yes.
And so are you guys doing a monthly budget?
I mean, yeah.
Not in your head, but like on paper, a budgeting app, something like that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, what I'm going to do for you is gift you guys 1 year of Ramsey Plus, and that includes EveryDollar Premium, which is our budgeting tool. It'll track your expenses. It'll connect to your bank account. Because what I'm seeing here is a guy who's done really, really well financially, but is doing a bunch of things at once. And you're not seeing the traction that you should be seeing for a guy making $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
And so I think it's time to start paying attention to every single dollar that you have coming in and making wise choices with where it's going. And it sounds like you're done really well. I mean, you guys are going to be multi-millionaires. How old are you?
43.
43. And your wife?
44.
44. Awesome. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm paying off the debts probably in the next – how much money do you guys have in just cash reserves, savings, all that?
Savings probably close to $90,000.
Awesome. What would you call a 3 to 6 month emergency fund? How much?
I would say probably at least $25,000.
Okay.
$30,000.
So let's just say in theory that you parked $30,000 for your emergency fund, leaving you with $60,000. The cars and the boats, those payments would be gone today, right? Still leaving you with another $20,000. Then we knock the rental down $20,000 to now what, $130,000. Then we get about the business of using all of our incoming cash flow to knock this thing out in the next 12 months. Boom. Now we freed up that payment, plus the car payments, plus the boat payments, and now all we have left is this $260,000 mortgage, which we could then knock out within 2 years.
Yeah, probably so.
So your 9-year plan just turned into a 3-year plan. Doesn't that sound better?
It does, yeah.
What's holding you back from doing it?
I have to buy just knowing that I can do that. I just know that I'm going to have to buy another car eventually.
Oh, I'm not saying to sell the car. I'm saying just pay it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand that, but when I get too many miles on my car, I have to buy another one. But
how many miles are you going?
Usually around 140 to 150 on my car.
A year?
Less than 100,000 on my wife's. No. That's from the life of the car that I have.
Oh my goodness. I was like, dude, what are you doing for a career? Are you just driving across the country every day? What kind of career are you in? I'm just curious.
Critical care medical device sales. It'll buy a device that helps to intubate patients, to put them on ventilators, and then also to bronch patients. Yeah,
great income with a career like that. Good for you, man. Well, hey, thanks so much for the call. Again, feel free to do what you want. You're a smart guy, but I like a 2 or 3 year plan versus a 9-year plan, and then $450,000 stays with you, aside from what you gave to Uncle Sam, which is a giant chunk of that, because they punish the rich. They will punish you if you make too much money. There we go. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Their 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Today's question comes from Tracy in North Carolina. She said, I recently began my debt-free journey, and I'm currently on baby step 2. I was very excited about the progress I was making when I got some unfortunate news. I learned that I have thyroid cancer and need to have surgery right away. I have excellent health insurance through my company. However, I don't have the cash on hand to pay for my out-of-pocket expense of $4,500. Should I tackle this new debt first while only making minimum payments on other debts, or should I build it into my debt snowball where appropriate? Should I use my $1,000 emergency fund to cover part of the cost? I'm not sure what would make the most financial sense and would love some guidance. Wow. Well, Tracy, it takes my breath away to even think about getting a cancer diagnosis like that. So I'm so sorry that you're walking through that. Praying for the best with this surgery, that it's gone after that and you live a long, healthy life. But as far as your question, the out-of-pocket cost being $4,500, you're in baby step 2. No, I would not touch your $1,000 emergency fund. On a technical level, it's not an emergency. You know it's coming up, and if you can't save up and pay for it by the time it happens, which my A1 would be, can you talk to the hospital and say, hey, is there a cash discount? Could you do this for $3,000? And then you'd scrape together the $3,000 as fast as you can to negotiate that price down at a cash discount rate. Now, if they're unwilling to do that, yes, that would roll into your debt snowball, and I would tackle it wherever it falls in that debt snowball. And, medical debt, if it's newer, it's going to be harder to negotiate it down. It's not a lingering bill that's been around for a while, but you may be able to get that cash discount if you said, hey, I don't have $4,500. What kind of cash discount could you guys give me if I paid today? And so I would try to scrape together with maybe side hustles, overtime, whatever you can do in order to pay that bill in full and get it out of your life at a discounted rate. Otherwise, let's roll it right into that debt snowball, and hopefully you'll be out of that soon. I can't imagine having the debt on your shoulders on top of the surgery. That's a lot to go through. So give yourself some grace. It's not going to be easy. Give yourself time to recover. And if that means pausing the debt snowball temporarily to get your feet under you, I'm okay with that. Right now, your health is a priority over the lingering debts. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 18:2. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion. Goodness gracious, that just described Twitter, didn't it? Thank you, Proverbs, for that ancient wisdom. Benjamin Disraeli said, the fool wonders, the wise man asks. I like that. Good stuff. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. I'm George Camel, your host today, flying solo. Joe joins us up next in Tucson, Arizona. Joe, welcome to the show.
Hey, George. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to ask you more about baby step 3B.
Sure.
If baby step 3B is going to be over 2 years, and I'm actually planning to buy a home with 100% cash, do you also invest in the mutual fund at the same time as you're saving for a home?
How long is it going to take you in order to save up and pay cash?
Currently, I'm in baby step 2. I should be done with baby step 2 in August.
Cool.
And I'm projecting that baby step 3 will be done by January. So after that would be probably 5 years.
Okay.
My wife and I currently make $112,000 after taxes.
Great. And what's driving you to pay cash for the home?
Oh, it's just motivation. In all honesty, I hardly hear anybody say that they're going to pay cash for a home, so it's just very motivated to do so.
I love it. I mean, it's a noble goal, and we've heard some incredible stories of people doing that, paying cash for their home. So I'm all for that, but I would begin investing. How old are you two?
We are 35.
35, okay. Now, what would the harm be? Let's just put a scenario out there. What if you were able to save up 20% down, and then you were able to pay off the house very quickly?
That would be doable, too.
Could you do that within 5 years on the same timeline?
Yeah. I was just kind of like, I know you guys don't really press a lot on interest, so I was thinking, would interest be a thing if I finance? Would that be a thing, or it wouldn't matter really mathematically if I just paid in cash versus taking a loan?
Oh, it would matter. I'll give you some numbers here. So when we got our home, we had a 3.625% interest rate on a 15-year fixed. Now, because we paid it in 26 months, instead of paying $50,000 over the 15 years, we ended up paying a little over $9,000 in interest over 26 months. Because those first payments that you're paying, it's mostly going to interest, which is not fun. So that was a great deal for me. Seeing that amortization schedule going, oh my gosh, I am paying this mortgage company a whole lot of money in interest, not driving my principal down. So I'm all for it. Listen, I hate debt as much as the next guy, and I want you to buy a home in cash. I just know with this housing market, with it being a moving target, I don't want you to get discouraged because you're 5 years in, and now that $500,000 house is an $800,000 house, and the target keeps moving.
That's correct.
And so in a market like this, if you can save up 20% down, you'll avoid PMI, which is money you're throwing away so the lender can be protected in case you can't pay. So in that case, if you get 20% down on a 15-year fixed with a payment that's less than a quarter of your take-home pay, I'd feel real good about you getting in a house sooner. And then make it an aggressive goal to pay it off really soon. So hear me say, I'm all for you saving up and paying cash, and if that takes 5 years and you're okay with that, that's awesome. What I don't want is 5 years later you call me and say, you guys told me to buy a home in cash, and now the house that I saved up for $500,000 is now worth $800,000 and I can't afford it. That's a real possibility. And so that's why I say that. But I do think you should begin investing. If it's going to be longer than 3 years, I would begin investing. You can wait 3 years and then begin investing, but you're 35. I want you guys to have plenty of money in retirement. So if you want to start investing now while saving up a down payment, then once you're in those parameters, 20% down at least, 15-year fixed, payment no more than a quarter of your take-home pay, then I feel good about you getting in that house and having the margin to pay it off really early.
Okay, well, sounds good. Thank you so much, George.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for the call. Awesome goal. Love to hear that. Call us back when you've got that house and it's paid for. Jay joins us up next in Phoenix, Arizona. Jay, welcome to the show.
Hey, George. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How can I help?
I got a same mortgage kind of question.
Love it.
Sitting on a bunch of cash in the, not a bunch, but I have a pile of cash in the savings, and I'm really hard to pull it out to address it towards the mortgage. That's the only debt we have was our house. I got $75K in the house, or in my savings account.
Okay. What's on the mortgage?
On the mortgage is about $250.
$250 on the mortgage. Okay.
Yep. Is it smart to take it out and put it there, or should I take the 75 and pull out 50 and invest it, or what? I need help with this.
Sure. So is this partially your emergency fund?
Well, it was originally. We started building an emergency fund, and then we just started saving and saving.
You just kept going.
And got rid of all of our debt. We just kept piling it into this account. And I know it's not useful in one place.
So what's 3 to 6 months of expenses for you guys?
Oh, we're in Phoenix, so 15, maybe 10 even. You know, not much.
So let's call it $15,000 that we put aside. And in a different savings account, I like to keep them separate because what happens is it gets real squishy of, well, what is this money for? So I would keep your emergency fund in one account and put all other savings goals in different accounts. So let's just say we had 15 on the side. That leaves you with 60, correct?
Correct.
And if you put 60 on that 250 mortgage, it would get it down to 190.
That sounds right.
And that's what I would do.
Calculators involved.
And you're already investing 15% of your income into your 401k or IRA or something like that?
Yes, already.
Okay. Then that's where you would be. And that's exactly what I would do. I would slap that 60 onto the mortgage, bring it down to 190. And you may feel like, well, George, that doesn't make sense because I could have invested this and the payment didn't change. So that was a waste of money. But if you look up the amortization schedule, you're going to notice that you're paying a lot less in interest now, which means you're going to see more progress on the mortgage than you had before.
No matter what's with it. Okay. And then how do I talk my wife into that?
Now that's a much more difficult scenario. I mean, number one, you can show her the math. Sometimes that helps to look at the math and look at what the money you're throwing away in interest to the lender to make them rich. That's enough to upset anybody. So that's one route you can go, but also having a long-term vision for the future helps. Have you guys sat down and go, hey, what is a long-term goal that we want? What do we want our retirement to be like?
Right.
What do we want life to be like? What is our next goal once the house is paid off? Then the house payment, the house mortgage becomes a carrot you dangle to get to the real goal, which is financial peace. We want to give more. We want to retire early. Those kinds of things.
We haven't followed the financial piece to the core, but Ramsey, over the last 10 years of my life, has been a crucial, point in my financial goals, and has helped me get through all my debt.
That's awesome to hear.
Our debt. But it's just one of these things. What's the next step? Like, where are we at? And we feel content, I guess.
Yeah, the next step, baby step 6, since you're already investing, is to get that house mortgage out of your life. And what's the mortgage payment every month?
We pay a little over, about $2,200.
So what's the actual payment without paying extra?
I think $19.
Okay. Another thing you could do with her on top of the interest math is going, hey, what would we do with an extra $1,900 a month? What kind of vacations would we take? How much more could we invest? How much more could we give? What would that money turn into in an investment account? That kind of stuff gets me fired up. So I would take her out on a nice date. Don't skimp. You guys are debt-free. Take her to her favorite meal and have this conversation and kind of make it a dream date. And let that be the fuel to make this big jump, which is, oh my gosh, we're depleting our savings account.
We're still on a tight budget, though, I tell you.
That's all right.
That's the one thing. The budget's been great. That's the thing that's turned us around, I think.
Man, that's awesome to hear. Well, Jay, I'm pulling for you, man. That's so cool to hear. Call us back when that mortgage is gone and you do a debt-free scream either on the phone or on this stage if you want to make the trip to Nashville. We're rooting for you guys. I'm encouraged. A lot of awesome calls today. Appreciate you all calling in and helping me help you take the right next step in your money journey. It's been an honor and a privilege to solo host today. Appreciate all the folks in the booth, Will and Kelly and Austin and James and Nathan and Zach. The whole gang's in there. And everyone listening in, tuning in, watching, we appreciate you guys so much. We couldn't do this without you. Until next time, spend wisely, save intentionally, and give generously. This has been The Ramsey Show. Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.